Mystics Outlook. We got Carter Dudley Jr. here. I'm Wilson Tarpey Jr. for the Washington Mystics. Tough one tonight. They had a chance to take a lead over the Dream in the standings, as we're currently in the home stretch. They fell to the Sparks. They had a late rally, had a couple clean looks, missed some shots late. The Sparks were able to hold them off for the 72-64 win. As of now, that should knock Washington down to seventh from sixth. But Cardell, what did you think about tonight's game? Outside of the outcome, obviously.
Just feel like that the Sparks, their guards, they lived in the paint too much. Um, this was uncharacteristics for Cloud and Sykes to kind of have trouble keeping guards in front of them. But the Sparks have some quick guards. Jordan Canada, being one of them. She didn't shoot the ball well, but I felt like she controlled the game for the most part. More so than with the Mystics guards did. They had their spurts, but not as consistent as Canada did. And when she didn't have it going, when she wasn't getting in the paint or it was Clarendon doing it. And then when they ran into trouble, then it was Hamby picking up the slack and doing what she could. And then, Zora and Samuelson would pick up the slack after that. They picked their spots, but it was really the guards getting the paint and creating havoc all night. And then one other thing, when you play the Sparks, you can't foul them. You can't foul them. They're an efficient free throw shooting team, and they get there. And when they get there, they make them. I don't think people understand that they're top five in free throw makes per game. They make 15.4. Tonight they had 21 makes, which is even over their average, which further proves what I'm talking about as far as the Mystics' overall team defense just not being there tonight. They're also top five in free throw attempts per game, 18.9. They had 24 attempts tonight. And their fourth in free throw percentage, 81.8. Tonight they were 87.5. They exceeded what their average was, man. You just can't have it, especially when you coming in. That's one of their strengths. So you at least, worst case scenario, just keep them at the average. Ideal situation is to keep them below it, and the Mystics failed in that area in that category or whatnot. And we know that when they're fully healthy, the Sparks have 7 players shoot between 82% and 100% from the line. And the wild part is the player on their team, their franchise, Nandeka Nwumike, who leads the team in free throw makes 3.9 and free throw attempts per game, 4.4. She didn't play. She was ruled out just before the game. So you took that equation out, so you like, good. You ain't got to worry about her. But still, they managed to exceed that. It can't happen, man. It just, you can't have that. And then the points all turnovers. They turned the ball over 15 times, and the Sparks scored 19 points off of them. That's the game. And with that being said, they only lost by 8. And then, full quarter, they ran out of gas. They couldn't get anything going. And that goes back to what I was saying about the Sparks, their athleticism and their length, man. Their front line, even without a woman, you still got Hamby. She's 6'4", 6'5", and athletic and move. Sammy's from 6 feet, but, obviously she's tough. She'll fight. Azura Stevenson with 6'5", 6'6", or whatnot. That's a problem, but they're athletic. You know what I mean? And then you got the speedsters, Clarendon and Jordan Canada. Jasmine Thomas still working her way back from the ACL tear, but she's still a veteran. She knows how to play. She had a big impact off the bench. And, Zia Cook, the rookie, didn't shoot the ball well, but she's still giving you speed. And that ended up being the difference in the game, I feel like. Just by them getting in the paint and getting fouled, getting to the free throw line, or them kicking it out and finding open scorers or whatnot, or even when they miss, they were getting offensive boards or getting a rebound, getting second chances at it. That just deflates you, man. And then you find yourself on defense more than you have to be. And I'm not going to ignore this equation. Prayers up to Christy Tolliver when she went down like that. I know that took a lot of steam out the Mystics because you saw them crying when even the Sparks team came over there. So I know it took them a while to regroup. But towards the first half, you could tell they were starting to get back into it. Then in the third quarter, they had a good third quarter. You took the lead with the fourth, man. I just think they were just drained. You know what I mean? And it's no excuse. You know what you're fighting for. Trying to get in the playoffs. Needed this win, and it gets tougher. It gets tougher. Look, Sykes was okay. She was okay. Uh, but in this situation, obviously they needed her to be outstanding, especially with Delanar struggling. Um, you know, Shatori Walker Kimbrough didn't have a good night at all. Um, and without the exploits of Lee Ming and Maisha Hines Allen, man, it'd have been ugly. It would have been ugly, man. So they got to go back to the drawing board, regroup, and they got to come out with some. They just got to come out with heart. You know what I'm saying? Not saying they ain't show hard today. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like that's what it's gonna take to really, what they got 3 games left. That's what it's gonna take to secure a playoff spot because I don't see the dream fading anytime soon. Sparks just beat them. I don't see them fading. Chicago, they still fighting as well, man. It's not like they just gonna give them a playoff spot. They got to take it. And it's gonna take hard, man. Overcoming the injury, Shakira out, Atkins out, Tyler went down. I know that's emotional. It's a lot of stuff they have to overcome, man, and it's tough. It's tough, man. But that's why they're pros, man. They're trusted to figure it out, and they're gonna have to figure it out because no one's gonna feel sorry for them. So I feel like those 2 areas is where they pretty much lost the game.
Yeah, I think that was great that you brought that up. Obviously, prayers up for Chrissy Tolliver to a speedy recovery, and that it's not as bad as it looked. How we all feel or think. This day and age, anytime the athlete go down, with a non-contact injury. But yeah, I think that emotional hit to a season where, every it's sports, but still there's a human side to it when you're watching your brother or your sister to the right and left of you. They've been taking a lot of hits this year,
Yes, they
losing
have.
players,
Yes, they
physically, and there's an emotional side to that too. So I'm happy that you brought that up. Like it took them, like you said, it almost took a quarter and some change to kind of get their legs up underneath them. But that was a hell of an emotional body shot they took when Chrissy went down.
yeah. Everybody loves Christy, man. She cool
Yeah,
as like if you've been around Christy, she the same. You don't know if it's a good day or if it's a terrible day. She's just the same, and she just cool. And you know what I'm saying? Even though she been out for most of the season, where plantar fasciitis and whatnot, and obviously we go back with her to Maryland, so it's
right.
all love with her, man. She from the area, so it's all love, man. Even coaching with the Wizards and the Go Go and all that stuff like that, man, putting in work. So a lot of people love her because she's just cool, man. She's just a cool person, and obviously she can hoop. And you could tell even behind the scenes, she's been the extra voice to keep them steady through what you're saying. It's been a hell of a season. It's
Yeah.
been a hell of a season. With the injuries, there's just the ups and downs, man. She's been keeping it flowing. Now they got to deal where her being part of the downside, just seeing her go down, no contact, just dribbling up the court, just make change of direction. Something she's done a million times, and she just go down holding her knee, man. And you never want to see that. So that's why you saw both teams come out, give her proper respect. Obviously, she played for the Sparks when she left the Mystics for a couple years. Um, that just tells you the respect they have for. But I just want to throw that in there. Go ahead, my bad.
No, no, you're good. I appreciate it. Again, it just lends more to that point where, like, they had just, they've been without key players, just got some back, lost a couple again, and then again, you talk about that what looks to be their rock, whether she's on the court or not, she goes down,
Hmm.
and it took them some time to navigate it and get back. And like you said, with everything that happened, they still had some chances late. You have Sykes missing an uncharacteristic bunny. She goes to the cup oh so often. Um, and it wasn't even the type of contact she usually gets. Just a typical left-handed lay that we've seen several times and higher degree of difficulty at times this year. Just missed the bunny. I think Maisha went to the cup late, missed the bunny or missed the mid-range jumper late. And like you said, Maisha and Lee Mong were huge tonight. That production from the bench, to kind of make up, and that's obviously what makes sports is about a team. Lifting, making up for that production that was lost for some other folks having a tough night. Um, again, it's a tough loss. They got to get themselves ready to fight again on Tuesday. Like you said, there's 3 more games left. And you brought up Jordan Kaden. I just want to take 2 seconds to bring her up. I thought she's had a very, like, quietly, very good year, consistent year. I don't know if it's gotten the respect it deserves, but the times that we've seen her this year, Against Washington, she's been super productive, and like you said, their speed and quickness, you don't get a break from it. You just don't get it. They have what 4 or 5 different guards that like to get into the paint in different ways. Clarendon's a little bit more of a bruiser, and Canada and Cook are just cat quick. That's a lot to deal with. And obviously Washington have a full complement of guards and what have you, but they were right there. And then the turnovers, typically take good care of the ball. And then tonight, that's the difference. Sometimes you can get away with turnovers if they're not live ball, but it felt like every time they turned it over, it was in play. Almost every time it was in play, and the couple times that it wasn't, it was kind of those momentum pulling situations where it kind of ended up, instead of a response, ended up sparking a little run. And like you mentioned, the Erica Hamby was huge for LA tonight, in several moments, just stepping up. If you had nothing else to add as far as the game goes, player of the game.
The Erica Hamby. It's not just that she had a double double where she was 12 and 10. And she didn't shoot the ball well. She was a bucket from 50% though. 3 assists, 2 steals. She did a hell of a job on Deladon. Deladon could not turn that corner at all. She basically forced her to be a jump shooter, didn't fall for none of the fakes or nothing. And Deladon, who we always say is one of the members of the very, very, very exclusive 50-40-90 club. I mean, she was 4 for 14, 0 for 6 from three. I can't remember. I'm not even sure if I've ever seen her shoot like that in her career. Just being real. That's how efficient she is. So that right there, just the defense alone from Hamby was big time. Then when she give you the double double and 3 assists and whatnot, uh, she's the reason she stepped up. No Boom McKay, she stepped up, fighting for their playoff lives as well. Got a big, big win. Got a big win.
Yeah, no argument there. X Factor. I feel like there's a couple candidates here, but who'd you have for the night?
It's tough. I'm just gonna go with the Sparks backcourt. Like I said, it's not often you could say that the Mystics backcourt got, but this is one of those nights. It's one of those rare nights, and Clarendon and Canada, they lived in the paint. They didn't shoot the ball efficiently, but they made plays for others. You know, hit the boards. Defensively, they was getting steals. Man, they look they got it done. Uh, I'm pretty sure they can look at the film and be like, man, it's things we need to improve on, whatnot. But like I said, if you look at the production, the results of their backcourt, the impact of the Sparks backcourt compared to the Mystics, you gotta get an edge to the Sparks backcourt tonight. And they're the reason why they won. You know what I mean? I know they were at home, obviously, but you know, you can't help when you play it. You gotta get the W, especially when you're fighting for your lives, man. So you tip your hat off to them. I thought Canada was especially a tough cover. She's just so fast and quick, um, and the experience. I touched on the preview. I felt like it might come down to them. You know what I'm saying? But who knows? That Don could have went off. Like I said, I didn't know when McKay wasn't playing till right before tip, so she could have had a big game. Who knows? But it came down to the point guard. I mean, not the point guard, but the guard backcourt play, and LA won that, and they won the game.
For sure. Looking forward. Again, you said they got 3 games left. It's 2 more on the road. Last home game is Friday, but the next game is Tuesday in Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix just gets to play the role of spoiler. However, it's professional sports. You know, I don't think Phoenix is just gonna roll over. However, for Washington, you you need a win.
For people that don't know, they're currently seventh.
Hmm.
Uh, well, I'm gonna just touch on this. Like you just said, they played the Phoenix on the road at Phoenix Tuesday. Mrs. last home game is Friday against the Dream. Then they close out the season against the Liberty, the East leading Liberty on Sunday. And with this loss tonight, they fall into seventh place because the Dream have the tiebreaker currently. They're 17-20. They're 1 game up on the Sparks, who they just lost to, but they're only 2 games up on the Sky. So this game schedule is tough. It's a tough schedule. The Sky, Tuesday they play the Fever. Friday they play the Lynx, and then Sunday they play the Connecticut Sun. So the missing schedule is slightly tougher, man. So um, and they're down 2 starters, man. It's tough, man. That's they Luckily, they got 2 games up on the Sky, but if they don't handle business, it can get very, very interesting, man. And you would hate to see them just drop out the playoffs over the week, this week or so, over a week, this last week of the season, man. They're too good for that, man. So we gonna see. We gonna see how it goes.
For sure. Looking forward to their response on Tuesday evening, and we'll talk to you guys then on Mystics Outlook.